Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'll recap a horror mystery film, X, so keep your eyes wide open and stay safe. The movie starts in 1979 when Sheriff Dentler arrives at the scene of a horrific crime. There's a corpse covered up in front of the house, and blood is splattered all over the front porch. As Dentler steps inside, his deputy warns him to look at something particularly gruesome. Dentler is left completely stunned by what he finds. The story takes us back a whole day earlier, where we meet Maxine Minks, a young woman with big dreams of becoming a star. Maxine is preparing for her big break as she gets ready to travel to Houston, Texas, to shoot an adult film called The Farmer's Daughter. Her boyfriend, Wayne, who is the executive producer of the film, is bringing her along for the ride. The rest of the crew includes RJ, the writer and director, along with his girlfriend and sound operator, Lorraine. Then there's the couple Bobby Lynn and Jackson, both actors in the film. Wayne likes to tease Lorraine, calling her church mouse, because he thinks she's more shy and proper compared to the rest of the group. Meanwhile, Bobby Lynn and Jackson can't keep their hands off each other, sharing kisses and playful moments on the road to Houston. It's clear that this group is full of different personalities, but they're all heading toward the same goal, to make the movie of a lifetime. The crew finally arrives at the farmhouse ready to start filming. Wayne heads over to talk to the owner, Howard, but things take an unexpected turn when Howard greets him with a rifle pointed straight at him. Wayne quickly reminds Howard that they had already talked the other night about renting the place. However, when Howard sees the rest of the crew, it's clear he's not happy. He makes it obvious that he doesn't trust any of them, especially with all these strangers showing up at his home. As Maxine steps out of the van, she notices something strange. Howard's wife, Pearl, is watching her from the window. Pearl's eyes are fixed on Maxine, making the air around the farmhouse feel even more eerie and unsettling. Before the filming begins, Maxine meets Pearl, and things get a little strange. Pearl starts talking to Maxine about her age and how she feels lonely. She mentions how she and Howard haven't been close in a long time, which makes Maxine feel uncomfortable. It seems like Pearl is trying to get closer to Maxine in a way that doesn't seem entirely friendly. Her words and the way she looks at Maxine feel a little off, making Maxine wonder about the kind of person Pearl really is. The crew gathers inside the farmhouse and they start filming the first scene. Jackson and Bobby Lynn are supposed to act like they're being intimate. In the story of the film, Jackson's car breaks down and he ends up at Bobby Lynn's house where she makes a move on him. The next scene has Maxine playing the younger sister, and she too gets close with Jackson. As the filming goes on, Pearl watches quietly from the sidelines. It seems like she's getting more and more interested in what's happening. Later, Pearl turns to Howard and asks him to make love to her, but Howard refuses, saying he doesn't think his heart can handle it anymore. It's clear there's tension between the two, and the whole situation feels strange and uncomfortable. That night, Lorraine talks to RJ and tells him she wants to have a part in the movie, but RJ refuses and tells her no. Lorraine is upset because she wants to do more than just record the sound. She wants to be part of the action. After a bit of talking, the others agree to let Lorraine join the film. They understand that she wants to be involved, not just behind the camera. As the scene continues, RJ steps away and goes to take a shower. There, he can't hold back his feelings and starts crying, feeling conflicted about everything that's happening. RJ gets so frustrated that he decides to leave everyone behind and starts driving away, but he suddenly stops when he sees Pearl standing right in the middle of the road. He tries to help her back to the house, but things take a dark turn when Pearl makes a move on him. RJ pushes her away, not wanting anything to do with her. Instead of stopping, Pearl gets violent. She stabs RJ in the neck and then keeps stabbing him over and over again until he's dead. Blood splatters all over the headlights of his car, turning the scene into a terrifying mess. Meanwhile, Wayne is inside the farmhouse looking for RJ. As he walks around barefoot, he steps on a nail, making him scream in pain, but then he hears something strange. When he peeks through a hole in the wall, Pearl suddenly stabs him through the eye with a pitchfork, killing him instantly. The farmhouse is turning into a nightmare, and there's no escape in sight. Lorraine wakes up and decides to go look for RJ, but Howard tells her that Pearl is missing too. Lorraine heads into the house to search for him, but things quickly get worse. While she's exploring, Howard tricks Lorraine and locks her in the cellar, leaving her trapped. As she walks around the dark, creepy space, she turns around and is horrified to see a naked man's body hanging from the ceiling. Lorraine screams in terror and tries everything she can to break out of the cellar, but the door is locked tight. The fear and panic are taking over, and it's clear that something much darker is going on in the farmhouse. Howard wakes Jackson up and asks him to help look for Pearl. They walk down by the lake, searching the area. While they're walking, Jackson spots something strange. A car lying at the bottom of the water. Before he can say anything, He turns around and sees Howard standing there. Howard reveals that he knows exactly what Pearl has been up to, and in a shocking move, he shoots Jackson in the chest with a shotgun. Jackson falls to the ground, his body landing in the lake, sinking into the water. It's clear now that Howard is hiding something much more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. Pearl quietly climbs into bed with Maxine, gently touching her back and leaving RJ's blood on her skin. Maxine turns around and sees Pearl there, and she screams in fear. Bobby Lynn hears the scream and rushes to help. She sees Pearl running out of the house and decides to follow her down to the lake. Bobby Lynn tries to help Pearl get back into the house, but Pearl calls her a terrible name and pushes her into the water. As Bobby Lynn struggles in the lake, an alligator grabs her and pulls her under, ending her fight for survival. The horror is spreading, and no one seems safe anymore. Lorraine finds an axe and tries to break through the door to escape. Just as she's about to break free, Howard catches her and slams her fingers with his own axe, cutting one of them off. Lorraine screams in pain, but she doesn't give up. Meanwhile, Maxine hides under the bed in the couple's room when they come in. They talk about the murders, and it's clear that Howard finally gives in to Pearl's demands, having sex with her. While they're distracted, Maxine sneaks out of the room and heads toward the van, but when she gets there, she finds the keys are missing. Instead, she stumbles upon RJ's lifeless body. Terrified but determined, she grabs Wayne's gun from the glove compartment, preparing for whatever comes next. The danger is far from over. Maxine runs straight to the cellar to try and free Lorraine. As she works to get them both out, Lorraine blames Maxine for everything that's gone wrong. Feeling hopeless, Lorraine suddenly runs out of the house, but before she can get far, Howard shoots her in the face. Howard tries to drag her lifeless body back inside, but just as he's doing that, Lorraine coughs one last time, startling him. That moment of shock causes Howard to have a fatal heart attack right there. Maxine, determined to survive, grabs the van keys and aims the gun at Pearl. As the preacher's voice plays on the TV, Maxine boldly says, "I will have the life I deserve," just like the preacher does in the video, but there's a twist. Maxine realizes the gun is empty. Pearl fires her shotgun at Maxine, but misses. The force of the shot sends Pearl flying out of the house, and she crashes, breaking her hip. Pearl calls out for Maxine's help, but Maxine refuses. Maxine gets into the van, and just before driving off, Pearl insults her. Maxine runs over Pearl's head twice, crushing it completely and causing it to explode. The nightmare is finally over for Maxine. The next day, Sheriff Dentler and the other officers arrive at the farmhouse. The video of the preacher keeps playing on the TV, and we learn that Maxine is actually his daughter. He's been searching for her this whole time. The deputy finds the camera that was used to film the adult movie. When he asks Dentler what he thinks is on it, Dentler looks at the camera and responds, "A goddamn fucked up horror show." It's clear that everything that happened at the farmhouse is way worse than anyone could have imagined. So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our fun recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Produced by Warner Talks.